So I just made a post on what a Roth IRA is, kept it kind of brief. So this video is going to be the actual process of opening up a Roth IRA account through either Fidelity or Robinhood. So there's no excuse as to I don't know how to do it. I'm going to show you right now what it is. So real quick, Roth IRA, all it stands for is an individual retirement account. The benefits of it is you're putting post-tax dollars into it, so AKA your net income. It grows tax-free. And then when you're 59 and a half or anytime after that, you can withdraw it tax-free. Keep in mind, if you have a very big emergency come up, all the contributions that you put into it, you can also take out at any time with no penalty. So let's say you invested the max $7,000 one year, and let's say it grew to 10,000. So you got 7,000 in contributions, right? 3,000 in earnings. You could withdraw that $7,000 tax free with no penalties. I shouldn't even say tax free, but just with no penalties. But I don't recommend that. But just know in the back of your mind that's always an option if you have a serious financial emergency. So, real quick, I personally use Fidelity. So, all you got to do is go to fidelity.com. You're going to open an account. You're going to select Roth IRA. Load. Assuming you're not a Fidelity customer already, click no. So I kind of filled out some Jane Doe personal information. It's going to ask you about your employment information. And all you're going to do is hit open account. I'm not going to do this because I don't want this fake account created, but it's that simple. The reason I use Fidelity is because I invest into a fund called FXAIX. It's an S&P 500 index fund. It's got a 0.02%, actually it's 0.015%, so super low expense, which is what you want when you're looking to invest into an index fund. You have that. That's the main reason why I invest into it. However, if you don't want to use Fidelity, you want to use something that's even more simpler than Fidelity, Robinhood. Their S&P 500 equivalent is SPY, which is a 0.09% expense ratio. And just to show you what the difference could be, so let's say you're starting out with $0 and you're able to max it out at $7,000 a year. We're expecting a 10% return because the S&P 500 average return over the last century. The expense ratio for SPY is 0.09. We're assuming we're going to let it grow for 30 years. So at the end of that 30 years, assuming that's the average return we get, you're looking at $1.1 million. And you would have paid about $19,000 in expense fees. If you do Fidelity's FXAIX, oh, that's not right. You're looking around $3,200. So it's a difference of about $16,000 in expense fees. So you need to ask yourself the question, is $16,000 really going to matter that much? Are you going to have other sources of income at the time, etc.? So if you're not really worried about that much and you want to keep it simple, you can do Robinhood, or if you're willing to do the extra effort, just do Fidelity. There's no wrong. You could use Charles Schwab, you could use Fidelity, Robinhood. There's 5, 6, 7 different major brokers. They all have their own S&P 500 index fund. There's no right answer here. The only thing I advise you to do is do research on the fund that you're going to invest into and be comfortable with it. Look at its average returns over the last 100 years. Look at its expense ratios. Look at its overall return. Look at the holdings in it. So most S&P 500 holdings are going to hold the big ones, right? Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Tesla, Netflix. They're all going to hold the majority of the same companies, right? The S&P 500 is 500 of America's best companies. That's what we want to invest in. The whole purpose of this account, it's a very powerful tax advantage account. You want to invest in something conservative that's going to grow long term, where you just throw money in it, invest, let it grow. So if we're going to do Robinhood, so Robinhood actually has a cool little special right now where they're actually giving you 3% match. So you might have heard of a 401k match where your employer will match up to a certain percent. So let's say you put in $500, they'll put in 4 or 5% of that. Robinhood's doing that right now with the IRA, which is actually pretty unheard of. I don't think anyone else is doing that. So if you're putting in $7,000 a year, which is the max, they're going to give you an extra $210. And so again, if we pull up this calculator, assuming we're using SPY, 0.9, The extra $210 over 30 years can grow to $34,000. So it's a pretty good chunk of change. So all we're going to do is go to Robinhood.com. There's an option to select, tell you what, I don't want to pull up my personal account info, but there'll be an option to select Open IRA once we get here, or you can just go to this URL up here, Robinhood.com/retirement/signup. I'm going to click Get Started. It's going to make sure your income limit, there's a certain income limit. I'm trying to keep this video brief. We're going to select Roth IRA. It's going to show you some of the benefits, when you can withdraw, tax benefits, yada yada. Do not enable limited margin. I don't recommend messing with that. Just do no thanks. Read through this if you want. Review, read through, hit agree. And let's see if it opens it up for me. All right, I'm not sure it's taking. Oh, there we go. Boom, my account's open. So now I have a Roth IRA with Robinhood. Keep in mind, you can have a Roth IRA in Fidelity, Robinhood, Charles Schwab, but the max you contribute across all three is 7,000. I don't recommend spacing them out. Pick one, stick with it, set it and forget it for the next 30, 40 years. Just pick one. So because I use Fidelity, yeah, I can contribute this, but I can still only contribute 7,000. We cannot go above that. Otherwise, we're going to run into some issues. So pick one. So we're going to pull this one up, show you what it looks like. Oh, come on, dude. Let's see what it looks like. Hopefully it doesn't pull up my account. Okay, cool, it doesn't. Cool. So it's going to show your balance here, what your contributions is, what they're matching. So if I invest 1,000 right now, it'll say 6,000. That'll go down. Contribute. It's probably gonna, yep, boom. So I already have my account linked. I'm gonna get out of this. So basically, yeah, you link your checking account, put in money, invest, and then all you gotta do is the search bar, SPY. It's currently worth $513. Buy one share. You don't have to do this. You can do it in dollar amounts too. So people always think, oh, do I have to have a certain minimum? No. You can invest as little as $1. Big whoop. You can buy what's called a fractional share. So don't think just because SPY is worth $513.76 and you don't have that amount on you right now, okay, no big deal. If you got 100, cool. If you got 500, cool. If you can max 7,000 out at the beginning of every year, cool. Just invest something. Just get started and let compound interest work in your favor. So that's all it is, guys. It's not hard to open the account. Just go through. Hopefully this video helps. If you need a little more detail, there's tons and tons of free resources on YouTube to show you whichever brokerage you want to use. There'll be videos on how to open it then. So hopefully that helps. Roth IRA is a very powerful tax advantage account that every single person should be taking advantage of.